Very welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Aydin Kilic. He is the CEO of Hive Digital Technologies. Aydin, welcome back. Good to see you again.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, so the company out with your year-end financial numbers showing what was really a very good and strong year for the company. Just overall, give me some thoughts on and some of the numbers that you saw.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal year. Our fiscal year end is March 31st. That's why we are reporting this week. So the webcast is on our YouTube channel. Be sure to check it out. We've got to make a great macro commentary from our executive chairman, Frank Holmes. Of course, the numbers from our CFO, Darcy, and I give an operational and strategic update as well as CEO. So it was a stellar year, $114 million of revenue. Of that, $37 million of adjusted EBITDA, 25 million of comprehensive income. We mined over 3,100 Bitcoin using green and clean energy. We also had $3.4 million of revenue from our emerging AI business using our NVIDIA GPUs, which is super exciting. And we ended the year with over 2,000 Bitcoin on the balance sheet. In our latest production report for May, we have over 2,400 Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So solid numbers. And I would say perhaps the most impressive feat, post-halving, which occurred in April, we have positive operating margins.
Yeah, I know that there was a lot of preparatory work that was done by the company in leading up to the halving, and more so also investment in technology and in machines and things like that that really allowed you to achieve some of these numbers. Can you sort of talk about operationally why that was so important?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we did was we took a very careful and calculated approach to prepare for the halving. What that meant is we upgraded our global fleet of Bitcoin ASIC miners to have better efficiency. What that means is replacing our older machines, which had paid themselves off and were mining profitably, to new machines that would consume much less energy, right? And when you consume less energy, that means you have less cost for the same given output of Bitcoin production. And so what we did was we brought our global fleet efficiency, which is measured in joules per terahash, from 32 down to 25 joules a terahash. And we did that by buying a total of 9,000 of the newest machines, which are called the Bitmain S21 miners. We bought 8,000 in December, and we just bought another 1,000 last month. And we've received and installed 7 of the 9,000. And the remaining 2,000 should be shipping in a couple of weeks and will be installed. And so we'll be at 5.5 exahash. And that'll put us at producing about 4 Bitcoin a day on average.
Yeah, and obviously that's a positive going into this year as well. And the company strikes me as one that's on a really solid footing right now. You've got lots of Bitcoin, you've got cash on the balance sheet, you've got a lot of things that are very positive leading into the rest of this year as well.
Absolutely. And, it's important to note that historically, 9 to 12 months after every halving event is when you get a real Bitcoin bull market, right? And so, although we've seen Bitcoin hit a recent all-time high of, the 70,000 range, on a mining economic basis, for this to be a real bull market, Bitcoin would need to be in the $200,000 to $250,000 range. And so we measure that through hash price, which is a metric of mining income. Without getting too technical, if you look at the last halving event in May of 2020, we saw the new all-time high come in February of 2021, right? About 9 months after. And so what happened was Bitcoin in 2017 had an all-time high of 20,000. In 2021, it had an all-time high of 65,000. You see, so there's a bit of a multiple effect there. And so that therefore, I mean, I can't predict it, but for it to be a proper bull market from mining economics, it would be Bitcoin in the 200 to 250,000 range, which hopefully we see, in the 9 to 12 months following the April halving event.
Okay. And also, what about technology? Is that something you're going to continue always to invest in going forward with the company? Obviously, you mentioned what you just recently purchased. You've got more machines coming. Are you in a good place now, or do these machines change, on a yearly basis, 2 years, 5 years? How does that work?
So the average operating life cycle of the machines can be from 2 to 4 years. And
Okay.
what we will do is we'll modulate the firmware, right, to increase the efficiency of the machine. So that's a technical innovation that we have at Hive that's quite unique. And so we
Mhm.
try to get as much life cycle out of these machines because here's how crypto mining works in a nutshell. You buy a Bitcoin server, right? You make sure that the price you buy it at and with your operating costs, you can ROI in about 1 year. And that way, the remaining 2 to 3 years of the life cycle is just free cash flowing, right? That's how you really make money in crypto mining, right? And so we've done a great job upgrading our existing fleet, but now we're looking at being at just north of 5 exahash. Our next step is how do we get to 10 exahash? How do we get to 15 exahash? Because a lot of our peers in the industry have scaled dramatically, and they've done so with a lot of dilution. We've kept a very tight float. We have the tightest float. I just looked at this statistic last week. It's very compelling. The average amount of shares out for crypto mining companies, all the top 10 crypto miners in the industry, is about 240 million shares out. At Hive, we're about a third of that at 90 million shares. So I'm giving you round numbers, right?
Yeah.
But when we see a very accretive expansion opportunity, we'll ardently pursue it. And we are searching globally for clean, renewable power to scale our operations. And that's on the Bitcoin mining side. On the AI side, with our GPU compute, we're also aggressively scaling and pursuing growth. We hit $7 million of annualized revenue in this last quarter. Our target for H2 this year is 20 million of annualized revenue just from the GPU AI compute business. And our target next year is 100 million of annualized run rate revenue for the AI business. So it's really exciting. I was in Silicon Valley for the NVIDIA conference. I actually met Jensen Huang. So, we're looking forward to getting, you asked me about technology. So it's the latest and greatest technology in Bitcoin mining at the right price, which is key because, right, the price fluctuates. And then, of course, for the AI compute, it's getting the right GPUs at the right time and planning the whole infrastructure pipeline from there. You've got the data center, storage, networking, et cetera. So it's super exciting. I'm an engineer, right? So I proudly wear the ring. So of course I love this stuff. I sleep and breathe it. And yeah, it's never been a more exciting time to be a Hive shareholder, I think.
There you go. Aydin, thank you so much. Good to catch up with you. Congratulations on that. We look forward to our next conversation. Okay.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Steve. Take care.
All right. Aydin Kilic, the CEO of Hive Digital Technologies.